Hi everybody, welcome to my live Q&A about Justice League. We just watched the movie. I can see everybody here in the comment section. We're going to get started off with 4 questions that I've pulled from Twitter right after we finished the movie. I said, while you guys are waiting to come back, let me know any questions you have. So we're going to start out with those. And if you have a question, please write it down below, actually here on the side, into the in the comments section. All right, so starting off with Brownstones 19, and Brownstone says, so what are your thoughts about the 2 deleted scenes? And those, of course, both feature Superman. The first is him walking through, the old, the ship from Man of Steel, and the black suit shows up in the background, and so does like the astronaut suit that we've seen him, for instance, wear in the animated series. And then he comes out of his closet and he's like, ta-da! And then also they have the scene where he shows up with Alfred and he's like, you must be Alfred. And Alfred's like, Master Kent. I think they should have not released any scenes, or they should have released more scenes. I think because everybody knows there's so much extra footage available, pretty much an entirely different movie. I would have liked to have not only seen more of that footage, but stuff for different characters. It's supposed to be about the League, and I think the deleted scenes should be about the League. So, and I also have to say, I thought they were really non-scenes. I think there really wasn't that much to talk about. I think that while the suit was technically black, that's all that it really had going for it to tie in with the Superman, the Return of Superman story. For instance, he never had a black cape there. So you look at that suit, you go, well, it's just the black version of what he normally wears, and why does it exist, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So I wasn't a fan of the deleted scenes whatsoever. And I think they were non-scenes. Then the next question comes from Popo the Hippo. And Popo the Hippo says, in your opinion, what made Steppenwolf a terrible villain? Well, I think that just Steppenwolf, first of all, was just too CGI. I mean, he didn't seem real, I think, at any point in the movie. And also, we never got to know him. He was just, a plot point. Nothing seemed to drive him. He seemed crazy right off the bat. We never got to see where he came from. We didn't know really what was at stake for him. He just monologued all the time, right? I just think he just wasn't as sophisticated. And again, he didn't seem real in any way, from the character to the way he looked. Next question comes from Kevin Ross. And Kevin says, should the DCEU double down on CGI Superman as the origin of Bizarro? It would also explain the confusion and itching Superman had. When Lois in the movie asks, how did it feel to come back from the dead? And he said, itchy. And let the real Superman become hopeful again. I'm torn on this. I've always been drawn to evil Superman. I think it's more interesting, being a Batman fan, to be fair. So I really like what they've done with the character. At the same time, I'm very respectful of the Superman fan base, and happy Superman really makes them happy. As I said when the live stream began, I'll never forget watching the movie with an audience. I saw it once with the press and then again with an audience. And the way people erupted when Superman showed up was really eye-opening. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff they could spin out of this. They could go the dark Superman route. They could go the Bizarro route. It could be really interesting. I just definitely think they should make a Man of Steel 2. No question they should have a Man of Steel 2. I think it's just as obvious as doing another Wonder Woman. I think fans are screaming out for that. Let's see here. Sorry, I thought maybe there was a problem with the stream. I think it's okay, right? Is the stream all right? Okay, I think it's good now. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Then the next question comes from Shad Terabeth. And Shad said, question, Grace, the capes in Man of Steel looked amazing in my opinion. Could it be that they simply do not have enough time in post to make them look good in Justice League? Because of the reshoots, I mean. Because when I was watching Justice League just this evening again, I said that the capes looked too heavy and cumbersome. It really made you wonder why anybody on Earth would wear them, right? I don't know. Maybe they've gotten thicker and bigger, as the movie has become more stylized. But I'm not a fan, and I'm starting to think they just don't work. And as I said when I was watching the movie, I think particularly because we watch so much Marvel characters and they don't have capes, that I just think it's because it just seems tired. Just like Edna Mode said in The Incredibles, I see no reason for any superhero to wear capes. It just doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's get some questions that are coming in here. All right. Josh Sun says, "Hi Grace, do you think the DC movie universe would ever try to include some LGBT superheroes like Midnighter?" I think if those are going to exist, it would probably be in the TV space to start out with. I think that, on the small screen. I'm not saying it could never happen, especially with the success of Wonder Woman and now Black Panther. So I think it'll happen someday. But I think I think just like Wonder Woman and Black Panther benefited from the right creative team and the right casting, I think you'd have to have the same thing happen with a good LGBT superhero. I'm very hopeful for the upcoming Love, Simon movie, the John Hughes style LGBT movie. I think that could be a big step forward. But I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but I think it could happen for sure, definitely. Let's see here. What's another one? Emily Lyon says, "Do you like what Zack Snyder has done with the DCEU?" I have. I loved Batman v Superman quite a bit. I viewed it as an Elseworld story, and I think some of the elements here were very good. My frustration with Zack Snyder is that Zack Snyder refuses, or seems to refuse to, let's say, as I said, he shouldn't blink, don't blink. I don't think he should have changed stylistically, but I think, as I always say, filmmaking has to be a mix of business and creative. And I feel that Zack Snyder isn't focusing enough on the business and trying to meet halfway. Although apparently there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, as has been made particularly clear lately. So it might just have been a situation where nobody could succeed in the environment that he found himself placed in because the suits were just mass panicking. So it's just difficult. Let's see here. What else? Okay. Veroke3 says, "Grace, why did they have Amy Adams' name before Gal Gadot's?" Well, it's because Amy Adams is an Oscar-nominated actress and Gal Gadot is not. I think just Amy Adams, there's just certain things that her management team are going to ask for to, keep up appearances. And there's, Gal gets to be Wonder Woman, so she's fine. Let's see here. Live Your Life. Hey, Grace, do you think there should have been a Batman and Wonder Woman duo film before Justice League? Yeah, I think they got to Justice League just way too fast. They should have taken their time and established the characters independently. And I think even Justice League as a movie itself feels rushed. I think, slow down. Don't blink, but also slow down, I think is a big thing for the DCEU. And I love the Batman and Wonder Woman chemistry. I think it's excellent. Dominating Impulse. Did you hate The Flash? I don't hate The Flash. I just think that The Flash needs to slow his rolls. He should slow down too. And I also think that a lot of the jokes here, and most of them, of course, are Whedon, because that was his whole job to come in here and add jokes. I think they were just too silly. I think they were not even his Avengers didn't have that kind of stupid humor. Maybe the second one did in some cases, like with the hide the zucchini joke with Black Widow and Hulk. That's not appropriate workplace humor, Tony. And I just think maybe because Joss was rushed, I don't know, but just not, not the caliber of a big, A blockbuster like this. Let's see here. What are some good questions? Oh, CTG says, "Did you hate Aquaman?" I liked Aquaman at places, at certain places in the film, particularly when he first enters the film. Also when he rescues that man at sea, I thought that worked. I think that when both Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa focus on playing their characters instead of themselves, they do a great job. But I think so too often, and maybe because they didn't have a strong enough director because things were so chaotic behind the scenes, but so a director needed to say, "I'm glad you're having so much fun making this movie, but don't take your eye off the ball. You're playing Flash/Barry Allen. You're playing Aquaman / Arthur Curry. You're not playing Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa." I think that was really crucial. Let's see here. Okay, Andrew Ox says, should Robin or Nightwing be introduced? They're definitely going to do a Nightwing movie. The director keeps tweeting about it. They'll probably announce casting soon. I think it's weird to do that when they have Nightwing, the exact same Robin, Dick Grayson, showing up on the DC streaming service in the Titans show. But we'll see what happens. I really do feel, as I said before, that it would be great to focus on the Bat family, particularly because they've been doing Bat villains for so long now. I think it would be a refreshing take, especially since they have such a strong Bruce Wayne. But I don't know if Ben Affleck's going to stick around. So I think if they do Robins, it would be contingent on Ben Affleck's plans. Let's see here. Abdul Hakim Abid says, do you want Hawkgirl to be in the DCEU? Yes, I do, but without Hawkman. I don't like the whole Hawkgirl, Hawkman situation. I don't like that, we were in the past, we're reincarnated. I think it drags the characters down. I like the Justice League animated series version of Hawkgirl, and they explored that whole stuff a little bit, but I like her on her own, and I like when she, Wonder Woman holds back because she, tries to love first. I love that Hawkgirl literally goes in swinging. So I think she's an excellent female member to add to the team, and I would really like to see that happen. Far better than Black Canary, because Black Canary doesn't really have superpowers. I mean, she has the canary cry, but, let's not pretend when she kicks someone it does anything, because she doesn't have super strength. So I don't really see how she could compete in there. Let's see here. On that note, Jonathan Chow says, do you want Black Canary and Green Arrow to appear in the DCEU? Nah, I think they would be better like a Netflix Marvel type show. I think that's the kind of level that they are. Alex Leary says, what female characters do you think should be added to the league? Well, in addition to Hawkgirl, I think Vixen would be a really nice choice. It's going to be hard to do Vixen post Black Panther, though, because, her power is also, the totem is supposed to hail from Africa. It could seem like they're copying Marvel, so that they might have to put that on hold, that idea, for now. Let's see here. Classy Ulysses, that's a nice name, says, you think Justice League 2 will be Legion of Doom versus Justice League? I think that's what it was supposed to be, but I don't think they're going to make a Justice League 2. I don't see that happening. I think they're going to have to see how Aquaman and Wonder Woman do. I think they're going to bring Suicide Squad back first. Maybe another Superman movie. I don't see them getting the team back together for a while. I think they have a lot of work to do. They're still too all over the place, the DCEU. They're not focused. They're just going in 100 million directions, and I think it hurts them. Here I have CVB says, what do you prefer, Suicide Squad 2 or Gotham City Sirens? Gotham City Sirens. I think Gotham City Sirens would make so much money. It could be like Black Panther or Wonder Woman level of hype. I think Suicide Squad 2, I think that brand needs a break. I think that no one's interested in anyone but Harley and Joker. Even in the first movie, really. El Diablo got kind of a fan base, and maybe if they brought Killer Frost in, I think Gotham City Sirens is just a much better direction to go in. Let's see here. Luke Lyon says, why watch Justice League and not Thor Ragnarok? Thor Ragnarok isn't out yet. We're going to do a Thor Ragnarok streaming too, for sure. Haven't done a Marvel movie in a while. I'm looking forward to watching that with you. Let's see here. Cameron S. says, Danny Elfman or Junkie XL? Danny Elfman. Although, even though he does make me feel like it's a DC movie, I think that Danny Elfman also really isn't evolving, and his stuff has the sameness to it. The Black Panther score, for instance, I just purchased it yesterday, and I was listening to it this morning. It's so good. The Thor Ragnarok score is really good. I think they should get a new composer in here who does something really new and different. This was the case with both of those scores. That's what I would like to see. Let's see here. Lego Freak Gaming. Thor is not out. Thor comes out on Tuesday. You might be pirating it somewhere, but it's not available legally. Sufyan27 says, are you excited for Shazam? I don't know what to think about Shazam. I gotta see this thing. I think they're gonna try and play it off as Big, the superhero version, but I don't know how the David F. Sandberg is going to factor into this. I don't know if it's going to be funny. I don't know if it's going to be scary. I don't know if it's going to be both. Not so happy about bringing Mark Strong back because he was already in Green Lantern. I don't know how Dwayne Johnson's going to fit into this. I think it seems really crazy. And I just, again, it seems like such an offshoot to me, right? It's like, what are you doing all the way over there, DCEU? Your Justice League still needs work. It's still a mess. You got to fix this first. Let's see here. Ari Yad says, do you think that they're rushing Flashpoint? I think, you should make Flashpoint to get you out of a problem, right? And also, how are you going to reboot and recast other characters and still keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? I mean, they're just really in a mess here. I don't really know how to even get out of it. I think it's tough. Let's see here. Someone asked me if I was confident in Hamada. Let me find the question so I can credit it to the right person. I don't see it. It skips ahead on me. Well, someone said, are you confident in Hamada? I don't know. I thought he would be doing more right off the bat. I'm surprised that, as I said recently, that things just seem like they always have. I think that I thought Hamada would come in and be like, all right, everybody, this is the way it's going to be, and get everything in shape. But he doesn't seem to have as strong a hand as Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy do, where they outright fire people. Let's see here. CVB again asks, do you think that Joss Whedon would ruin Batgirl? Without a doubt. The fact that that movie is still moving forward is a mystery to me, especially after the revelations about how he treated his wife. Even if they're true or not, I don't know how true they are, but still, it's not great. And I think, he wrote a letter for some strange reason, basically confessing to all of it. So I don't know how he can handle a character like Batgirl without making it a disaster. Let's see here. Oh, Robert Ruiz says, should they have kept the dark side scene because they had that, a storyboard got out? Yeah, I think that, why you keep, I don't know. I wouldn't have gone the dark side route because of Thanos. They're the same character. You can't have the exact same giant space villain who's one's gray, one's purple gray, one's gray. It just is, they're both huge. They both have deep voices. They both want to conquer the world. They should be going Brainiac. They should be running in a totally opposite direction than what Marvel is doing instead of running towards Marvel. Let's see here. Let's see. What are your 3 favorite DC movies? Dallin Curtis. Like of all time? Well, obviously The Dark Knight. I guess this is easier than I thought. The Dark Knight, Wonder Woman, and then I guess I'd have to go for the original Superman with Christopher Reeve because it's so iconic and kind of started the whole comic book business thing. So I'd go for those 3. Let's see here. David Glover. Hello, Grace. Do you think that DC will learn to embrace their dark story style? This is a tough one. I agree with a lot of people who point out and say, well, really only Batman is dark. And I think that was proven with Wonder Woman, who had very serious elements, which I really liked. But, as far as that being just a DC thing, they just totally ruined that with Black Panther because Black Panther is very serious and did a fabulous job with it. So it shows that Marvel can do it too. And Superman, I think, should be very light in tone. It's certainly a lot lighter than Batman. And then maybe there'd be a little more variety in DC. I think it's very difficult. It's very hard. I think that it's so tangled at this point. Somebody here asked me if they think they should reboot. I don't know. I think maybe they should. I think maybe they should consider rebooting and just keep Gal Gadot. That's maybe what I don't know. It would be embarrassing, but just keep Gal Gadot and Margot Robbie. That would be really bad. Let's see here. Oh, Sufyan27 says, Amazons or Dora Milaje? Great question. I'm going to go with Dora Milaje. I love Wonder Woman, but she's not the Amazons. And I think particularly, I just watched Justice League, as you know, that's what we're discussing here. And I thought that they really embarrassed themselves against Steppenwolf. And, you know, the Dora Milaje, I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen Black Panther, but they don't have zero losses themselves. But I don't know. I think if I had to pick some female warriors to send out on my behalf, I would pick the Dora Milaje. I might just send Okoye out on her own. I think she could take it out. Okoye versus Wonder Woman. That would be a fight I would like to see very much. Let's see here. Joe, do you think if they add more members to the league, Batman should just be in the shadows if his only power is money? His only power is not money. That's why I get so upset with that line. He's a strategist. It's very important. Superman is the heart of the team, but Batman is the brain. And I think that they really need to play that up. It frustrates me when people who don't read the comics make these movies because they don't understand the team dynamics, which are so crucial to getting things right. I mean, Hollywood should realize how lucky they are that comic book writers have done all this work for them over decades. But they keep insisting on, adding their own flourishes and starting from scratch. It's like, no, the layout, the groundwork has been done for you. And I guess maybe that's one of the strengths of what, the MCU has done, although they changed Captain America quite a bit. Although Captain America in the comics has never been that big, so I think that was a good idea. Let's see here. Glenn Murphy says, do you think a film like Gotham City Sirens could have a backlash like the all-female Ghostbusters? No, for two reasons. First of all, Gotham City Sirens is a female team. You're not doing a gender swap. And two, and this is the sad reason, for some reason people are much nicer, audiences are much nicer to hot women than they are to, women who aren't defined by their hotness or partially defined by their hotness, to be fair to actresses like Margot Robbie and Gal Gadot. I think that's not cool, but I think it's a sad reality, and so I think Gotham City Sirens would be okay. As long as David Ayer doesn't direct it. That would be so horrible. It would be so bad. Oh, Oliver Grom says Valkyries or Dora Milaje. Dora Milaje. I didn't think Valkyrie did that much in Thor Ragnarok. I thought she was likable, but again, the Dora Milaje have an aggression to them, which I really liked. I think that was really nice, and I haven't seen that in either of the other two female. That's a lot of female armies we've got going here, right? Wow, that's crazy. But I still think the Dora Milaje are the best. Max Marcy, Macri. We have 7 minutes left in the live Q&A, just so you know. So Max Macri says, hi Grace, do you think Wonder Woman should get a new costume in the future? I think that her little skirt or whatever that is could be a little longer. There are a lot of butt cheek shots in Justice League that I don't think are appropriate for a character like Wonder Woman. But I think that's all Zack Snyder. I think the costume looks great. I just think, they need to watch Wonder Woman to see how it's supposed to look, from her, including her hair as well. I don't think she needs a new costume. I think she looks great. I think that costume still looks really, really good. Let's see here. You guys are asking Marvel questions in here. We got to focus on the DC. We'll do Marvel when we do Thor Ragnarok. Let's see here. Oh, Elvis Hendrick says Ezra Miller or Grant Gustin. I don't watch the Flash television show, but I know so many people love Grant Gustin, so I think that certainly shouldn't be ignored. But I think Grant Gustin to me looks too television. He doesn't look movie caliber to me in terms of talent. He looks like a TV star. I look at him and I go, you're at the right place. Ezra Miller, I think, really pops on screen. He has a really great dramatic look to him. He looks more like a movie star. So I'm not totally ready to give up on Ezra Miller just yet, but somebody really needs to sit him down. Let's see here. Somebody asked me here. Let's see here. Oh, Zain Mahmood says, views on Lobo film? As I said when I covered Michael Bay might be directing it, Jason Momoa is already Aquaman, and so I don't know who on earth could play the character without looking like, who could do as good a job as Jason Momoa would have done, and who wouldn't just look like they were doing a Jason Momoa impression. Let's see. I can't find the question. Somebody asked me who would be a good new Bruce Wayne. I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on Ben Affleck yet. I hope he sticks around, But I think he's proven how important it is that the actor do a really good Bruce Wayne. So I would be more into John Hamm than I would Jake Gyllenhaal, because I think John Hamm would be a great Bruce Wayne. Let's see here. But Without says, hey Grace, do you think that if Aquaman doesn't work, then the DCU will be over and be boycotted? I think it's going to be boycotted already, quite frankly, considering how low Justice League's box office was. I think that was really shocking. Fans finally did walk away. Warner Brothers and DC were kind of playing chicken with them, and they did walk away. And I think that was really shocking. And I think that that's what we're wondering about the upcoming Star Wars movies. Will those fans walk away? We'll see. But I think that Aquaman is already going to have a problem. I think Aquaman is already going to have an uphill battle because of that. I think the only DCEU movie that's probably pretty safe is Wonder Woman 2, if they don't mess it up. Should have kept Alan Heinberg, Patty Jenkins. I hope Patty Jenkins doesn't have her success go to her head. I'm kind of getting that feeling. I hope I'm wrong. Let's see here. Voris says Liev Schreiber for Bruce Wayne. I don't see it. Also, he's just too villainy. Oh, Chick-fil-A Incorporated says, would you like to see a Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman team-up movie? They fought in Justice League versus Suicide Squad in the comic. It was fun. I'd like to see them interact. They're the best stuff going. They're the two best characters in the DCEU right now. And I think they could have a lot of fun together. I would just like to see Harley have more fun. I thought that she focused a little bit too much on being sexy in Suicide Squad because she was written by David Ayer. I would really like to see her be sillier. And I think Margot Robbie can do it, by the way. So I would like to see that going forward. Let's see. Somebody asked me if I would do a live stream for The Greatest Showman. That's a fun idea. I will think about it. That's a nice idea. That was a great movie, boy. All right, let's do 2 more questions. We got 3 minutes. Oh, let's see here. Kondakar Naeem says, Christopher Nolan needs to direct all DC movies. I just think he doesn't want to. I think that the reason The Dark Knight Rises wasn't as good as The Dark Knight is that he was like, I'm not making any more of these, so I'm going to stuff all my ideas into a single movie. I mean, he was so good in The Dark Knight, and I think that he just put it all on the table and he was done. So I don't want to force anyone to make DC movies who doesn't want to. So I would, there's got to be another good director out there. I mean, look how great it was with Ryan Coogler and Patty Jenkins. I think Matt Reeves, after seeing the first 30 minutes of the first act of the Last War for the Planet of the Apes movie, I was really impressed with what Matt Reeves did. And so I would be very curious to see his Batman movie. Matt Munoz says, have you seen the Batman Ninja trailer? I did. I reacted to it when it was in Japanese. I'm very excited about that movie, and I will definitely cover it when it comes out in May. And if they have any new trailers. But so far, they've only dubbed over in English, I guess because the response was so good. Now they're going to do an English dub release for Batman Ninja. And so if they cut another trailer, I will cover it. Let's see here. Oh, Light V Dark 21 says the Duffer Brothers. They could be really good. The Duffer Brothers would be maybe good Superman directors. I think they could maybe do a really nice job with that. That's a good idea. I like them. They're so busy in the Stranger Things business right now, but maybe they need a break because I think that Stranger Things 2 wasn't as good as Stranger Things 1, especially that horrible episode 7. They spoofed so well on Saturday Night Live. So give them a break. Let them stretch their creative legs a little bit. Oh, Tony Stark, 242424, says, will Nightwing replace Batman in the DCEU? I hope not. I don't think one of my favorite things about Nightwing when he filled in for Batman was that Two-Face was able to tell that it wasn't Batman because he smiled. I loved it. I mean, they're just not the same person. I really want Zac Efron to be Nightwing. I'm going to be really disappointed if he's not. He is Nightwing. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Zane, I'm sorry, Zane, I already answered one of your questions. Okay, no, that's a Marvel question. Let's see here. Oh, this was good. That one YouTube comment says, what about Phil Lord and Chris Miller? Maybe. They could maybe do a really good job. I'm very excited to see their Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales animated movie. Maybe they would be a good choice. I would interview them. I don't want to see what happened with Kathleen Kennedy though. I'd ask them to come clean and be like, and also I'd be like, are you really not going to take studio notes, because this is going to be a problem. I just, they need a Kevin Feige. Okay, I'll do one more. One more question. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Okay, I like this one. Jordan Neal. Should Wonder Woman 2 take place after Justice League and have a European approach in regards to location, London, etc.? Yes and yes. I'm very against the idea of the movie being another period piece. I think Wonder Woman needs to just stay in modern day. I think that, I've heard rumors that they're working to try and bring Steve Trevor back, which I think would be fabulous. But then he goes away again. I think that, and why is she still depressed about it, right? As she was in Justice League. It makes no sense. Also, I want her to get better at her powers, and if they keep going backwards, then obviously she's still not better with her powers. So I want to go forward, and I definitely want her to stay in Europe. In that region, just anywhere around the Grecian islands. I think she could go into the Middle East a little bit as well. Although that might be difficult because, Gal Gadot is an Israeli actress who has strong political views. So maybe I wouldn't want to put her in that area, come to think of it. Might not be a good idea. So let's just keep her in Europe, and I think that's great. And I love that she's based in Paris, out of the Louvre. I love that she works in a museum. She's like, I remember when this was made, because, she's been around for so long. I just think I think that I'm very hopeful, but I think it should not be a period piece, and I do think she should stay based in Europe. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I had a lot of fun doing this with you. We'll be doing one again in the next week or so for Thor Ragnarok, which comes out on Tuesday. I have a lot of press screenings next week, though, so it'll probably be sometime next weekend. I'll let you know soon on Twitter. So if you're not following me already, you should, to make sure that you know when you can join in for that. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for talking to me. Bye.